Good morning. I am Lieutenant Colonel Monish Ahuja. I am a first generation entrepreneur. Post my career with the Indian Army, I belong to the Corps of Electronic and Mechanical Engineers, and I am a alumni of Baba Atomic Research Center, where I have done a post graduation in nuclear technology. I started this company, Punjab Renewable Energy Systems Private Limited, in 2011 with the aim of addressing the issue of biomass supply chain management. To be able to support projects in the biomass industry, where if we can build an ecosystem in rural India to supply this agri waste to projects like the second generation ethanol projects, the bio CNG projects, various utilization of biomass for electricity generation, for methane generation, for biofertilizers, then we are bringing and cultivating a system of utilization of waste to energy, and that's a brief of what my company does and what we do in this space. Currently, we work in the states of Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Northeast, and actively involved with the rural farming community. In this second generation ethanol technology plants, outside the plant boundary, there has to be a built up of an ecosystem, and that ecosystem is to be built with the support of the farmer community for the biomass raw material, which is the agriculture waste from their produce. Now, this agriculture waste is depending on the crop pattern. So, if you look at the north part of the country, the predominant agriculture waste is rice straw, and along with that cotton stalk. If you look at the central part of the country like Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, then the agriculture waste is soya husk, cotton stalk, and sugarcane trash and tops. So, basically how we work, my company Punjab Renewable Energy Systems Private Limited, we build this ecosystem of biomass supply chain management around the plant in a radius of 50 to 100 kilometers from the plant itself. And we empower the farmers by providing the farmers the equipment required to bring this agriculture waste out of the fields, to do some pre-processing on it, and this pre-processing could be utilizing balers for baling the biomass, or utilizing chippers for downsizing and chipping the biomass, and then bringing it to the collection center or depot or warehousing, which again we create. So, the farmers actually work in their own fields, in their neighboring fields, in their villages, and bring this waste material to the depots, to the collection centers, where there is a transfer of ownership from the farmer or the village level entrepreneur who do this work to the company, which is Punjab Renewable Energy Systems Private Limited. Now, the window available for accumulation or aggregating this biomass is very short. In Punjab area, say 30 to 45 days, where one requires to aggregate for the full 12 months of supply. If you look at the other geographies, maybe it goes to about 60 to 90 days. So, in it itself is a humongous task to be able to aggregate this material, to be able to store it in a proper manner. So, there is a supply chain management which has to be built up. Once you are storing, to be able to maintain the quality of the biomass, because that is going to be used for production of the second generation ethanol, and then on a daily basis supply 500 metric tons of this biomass to the project, which is being established by Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, Indian Oil, Numaligarh Refinery, Mangalore Refinery. So, all these companies are establishing these projects. In rural India, just to give you a flavor, if you have to transport 500 metric tons per day, it actually amounts to 50 lorry or tractor trolley trips, because each trip would have about 8 to 10 metric tons. So, just imagine so many tractors, trolleys moving to the plant every day, and that in itself is the challenge or ecosystem which needs to get built. the main part of this entire ecosystem is the farmer. The main beneficiary is the farmer. The main working hand is the farmer. So basically, in this model that government is now moved ahead for biofuels, the farmer community actually engages directly with the project. What we do is build and manage this ecosystem and take the risk away from the project, take that risk from the project and integrate it with the local farming community and manage to store this material. Now, when you store this kind of biomass or this volume of biomass, just to give you an example, 2 lakh tons of biomass has to be collected in 30 to 45 days, stored for 12 months. On an average, if you look to store 1000 tons of biomass in a baled form, you require 1 acre of land. So, to store 2 lakh metric tons of biomass in itself, 200 acres of land is required in a decentralized manner. So, close to 20 to 25 such storage depots or warehouses or collection centers have to be built, have to be managed. From each of this, material movement every day to the plant has to be managed. So, this is a complete ecosystem which is to be built. I compliment the current government in the center because Prime Minister Modi, Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, Minister Piyush Goyal in his previous role in Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, currently Minister R.K. Singh, all of them have fully recognized this work which needs to be done. Once you are able to build this supply chain ecosystem, then any industry which wants to utilize this biomass will necessarily come up and thrive. So, actually we are utilizing a waste agri resource for production of energy, production of bioethanol, production of biofuels like bio-CNG and giving back bulk of the value to the farming community. So, I think it is a perfect fit for the vision of increasing farmer income. I would not say doubling farmer income only by this, but from the waste providing an additional income to the farming community. So, the key is in this entire build up of ecosystem, it is like a hub and spoke model. And in this hub and spoke model, the main beneficiaries are the farming community, because now they are going to get paid for the raw material which is waste. They are going to do some component of the supply chain management, right from moving it to the fields to the depots or collection centers, and again from the collection centers they are going to be moving it to the 2G ethanol project. So, this entire ecosystem is localized in a 50 to 100 kilometer radius, and the only working hand over there is the farming community. So, typically a farming community, away from getting value for their produce, which could be the fruit, the grain, here they are going to get value for a agriculture waste commodity. Now, how does this value come back to the farming community? It comes back to the farming community for a price for the waste, a price for the work that they do in terms of utilization of their tractors, trolleys, a price for the labor component, a price for being able to work in their own houses, in their own villages, becoming entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs to work around this agri waste and creating a skill set which would remain, because the project would remain for 20-25 years. So, actually you have taken a job and a work to them in their house. You have taken and built a project in rural India which is around the agri waste, for that agri waste to get utilized for 20-25 years. So, the amount of ecosystem value that goes back. Now, I would like to highlight here to give some numbers. India alone has close to 500 million metric tons of such kind of agri waste, and this is from government data. Recently TIFAC report has come, and these are those kind of numbers. So, if we can utilize majority of this agriculture waste, if you look at the northeast region, similarly besides the agriculture waste, the potential of bamboo, which Numaligarh refinery is looking to utilize. So if we can utilize this agro waste potential in the country, there will be a complete paradigm shift of industry. There will be a complete paradigm shift of the connotation of energy. Energy will now not be bought from outside into India, but energy will be produced in India, used in India, and hopefully exported from India. And this is green energy. This is non-fossil fuel. This is devoid of sulfur. This is devoid of nitrogen. What better gift to give to our future communities, to give to our farming community by giving them energy security, which is in-house, within the country, from a waste product, and the value of that is going to the farming community. The utilization of this ethanol will move from rural India to urban India, whereas currently the energy moves from urban India to rural India. So it's a paradigm shift which will happen. I do believe that the next decade in India will be for the farmers if these projects take off and what government is pushing is becoming a reality. In India, we have homegrown technology now with DBT, ICT, Professor Arvind Lali, who is one of the key persons involved in the development of this technology. We have technology from Praj Industries, which is equally good as I understand. So we are amongst the world leaders in having the technology itself. There are other global technologies as well which are getting looked at for the Indian market. So the future is bright for the farming community, and I guess this government has put us on that roadmap. Hopefully in the next 2-3 years we will see at least these 12 projects off the ground and couple of million metric tons getting utilized for these projects and direct benefit happening to the farming community. To give a number, I think per kg of biomass, a farmer in doing the entire value chain can earn between 2 to 3 rupees per kg, depending on the distance, depending on the quantum that the farming community or the village level entrepreneurs do.